Hello everybody, my name is TheTfboy, and welcome to a little, sort of, what's the word, I guess tips and tricks video, I guess maybe, on, the Vanguard. By the time I'm recording this, I know the official Nosgoth YouTube channel has not released their video on it, but I thought I would do, not a little bit more in-depth, but just kind of explain everything a little bit better than the video format, which isn't bad, by the way. I'm just going into a bit more detail. So, in terms of the Vanguard, the new human class that was released about mid last week, Wednesday. So I bought him. I had extra artifacts I was saving up for him to see how he was, and he's actually pretty great. I'm really liking this. So, the Vanguard's default configuration, in other words his basic setup, he has the Kama, however you pronounce that, 230 damage, 7 clip, and reload time is 1.5. So, I'm not really going to get too into numbers, and then his, just because everything's pretty self-explanatory, and if there's any balancing changes, I don't want to get held accountable for that. Because I think for the most part, all the abilities are going to stay, and weapons are going to stay the same in terms of what they do, but if there's any balance changes, I don't want this video to be a little bit outdated. Because, this game is still in open beta, so changes can happen. Okay, yes. But this is his basic weapon, and his basic ability is the shield bash one. As well as his secondary ability is Rousing Cry, which is the only one he has, by the way. Just like the Summoner only has one secondary ability. Now in terms of his weapons loadout, you have 4 choices. You have the, I'll get back to this. You have the War Axe, which is essentially just more damage, slower fire rate, and less ammo in a clip. So, if you do the math, you pretty much have the same damage per clip over time, but it's just based on, personal preference, whether you like a little bit less damage, more clip, or a little bit more damage with less clip and less fire rate. You have the Splitter Hatchet, who, pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you throw it, it splits into 2 axes when thrown. Compared to the damage, it does 240 between the both of them, but it's more meant for like targeting multiple enemies. Because this hatchet really is probably the least long-range effective, just because whenever it splits, it like splits from the middle. So if you want to hit someone from far away, it doesn't really work. But my favorite is actually the Impaler Axe, which does, well, okay, we're gonna get into numbers. The normal axe is 230. This is 215, but it does 100 damage over time in 2 seconds. In addition, everything else is the same in terms of the fire rate, the clip, and the reload time. I actually really like this, and it definitely is very, very useful because the damage over time, basically, it's 200 over 2 seconds, but essentially, if you're not super accurate with the weapon, if you essentially like have a 50% hit rate to where you hit once, you miss again, you hit, the damage over time will basically make up all the times you missed. And if you are pretty accurate with the weapon and you just happen to hit all the times, then you're going to deal a lot of damage to the enemy. Because as far as I'm aware, the damage over time does stack, as far as I'm aware. So essentially, you could get, if you can get like 3, maybe 4 shots into a vampire, they're pretty much dead, no matter what they do. Which is quite nice, because I've actually killed multiple people just after I've died, which is quite cool. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. Now in terms of his abilities, he has Shield Bash, he has Shield Charge, and he has Judgment. Shield Bash 12th ability, cooldown 8 seconds. It does 275 damage, and it staggers the enemy, so that basically, knocks them back. And essentially you have like a second or two that they are vulnerable, whether you want to put more throwing axes in them, or you want to run away, or maybe have your allies protect you. And that's another thing too. For those who don't know, normally in Nosgoth, whenever you're doing human class, whenever you right click, you actually aim your weapon. In his case, you actually turtle up and put your shield up. Now, putting your shield up, you can't do that forever. Your shield, there's a little icon in the center of the screen that basically says, that shows you how much damage you can take before you just can't use your shield for a short amount of time. Turtling up does have its advantages. Again, it could be a case of you're very weak, your allies are not, and you want to turtle up so that you can take a amount of damage while your allies finish them off. Another example could be that you could turtle up, like let's say you got a couple seconds before the shield bash is about to recharge, you could turtle up and wait for that, and take a lot less damage, and then shield bash and then just throw the axes at the enemy. That's what I like to do personally. You could also use the shield to protect allies whenever they are at a healing station, which can be pretty useful. In addition, for those who are wondering how the shield works on other classes, yes, the Reaver's Pounce or Savage Pounce is negated. Well, not negated, but you take, if they try to do it, you'll take a small amount of damage instead, and they'll be knocked back. Not like staggered like the shield bash, just knocked back, and they'll be able to continue fighting. So no, you cannot be pounced on when you have the shield, but it only works if the Reaver's in front of you. So if they like get you from behind, you're still going to be pounced. And of course the Tyrant. Now a lot of people have been comparing this to the Tyrant in the fact that, like, the Tyrant's charge versus his shield charge, you're still going to be dominated. Nothing stops the Tyrant's charge at the moment. I haven't actually tested to see if you could time a shield bash with a charge to see if you could stagger it, but I don't think you can. Like, even if you could, I think that's very hard to pull off, and it's better for you just to move out of the way if you can. If you can't move out of the way, turtling up is also good. Again, it doesn't stop the charge, it just makes you take less damage whenever you get thrown back. And then you have Judgment. Now, I've actually tried it myself, but I've seen how it works, and I don't really like it. What it is that it's an AoE ground pound attack that if an enemy vampire is less than 30% health, you will perform an execution animation similar to an extent of how the vampires execute humans in order to get back their health. It's not really that... It doesn't seem like something useful because it leaves you vulnerable during the execution, and it's very situational. So, it's not an ability I would recommend, at least not at the starting. You know, it could be more useful in certain situations, like if you've got, say, a vampire feeding and you perform this and they're less than 30% health, then I think, yes, you will definitely take advantage of that. But other than that, you know, in the midst of combat, I don't know. Also, for the sake of the video, he's gonna have 5% extra health just due to that's the daily perk, so that's that. And yeah, that's pretty much how the Vanguard... Oh, I didn't even talk about the secondary ability. Rousing Cry. Now, a lot of people consider this to be overpowered to an extent. The movement speed, I think I would agree so. I think the movement speed is a little bit much. You know, 20%, because, you know, the whole point of this patch was essentially to prevent, you know, humans from, like, running away and such by, like, beefing up the vampire speed by 5% and increasing their melee speed but decreasing the damage accordingly so that they're not, like, locked in. I don't know. I mean, the movement speed is nice on the human side, but it is annoying on the vampire side. In addition, also the healing. The healing isn't as great as you think it is. Like, it's 3% per second for only 5 seconds. It's only 15 health. So if you're like the Prophet, or I'm sorry, let's say the Alchemist, that's only 150 health. That's basically only maybe 1, maybe 2 melee attacks from a vampire, which I guess can be the difference between life and death, but it's not. The Rising Cry is more of an ability that you pull off when you're out of combat rather than during. Maybe you can pull it off just before the vampires initiate the fight and just all start coming at you at once, but it's not really gonna save you. It's more of a defensive thing per se. At least that's how I view it. Now another thing people were complaining is apparently the costumes and the shield were like two different things that you had to purchase, or that you could purchase, and that was a way for like the Square Enix to like get more money out of you. You could argue that, but I tend to disagree because this just gives you a little bit more customization options. Now, I haven't actually paid a dime for this game, and I will eventually. I do want to support it, but you know, I'm okay with this. Like, if you like this skin but don't like if they had assigned a shield for each character, a lot of people would be complaining. I'm sure a lot of people were complaining at the fact that they would like to switch out the shields. So, you know, you're gonna get people who complain either way, and I think this is the better option to do it. Because, you know, what if, like, say this skin came with, like, this shield, and you didn't like this shield? Well, in this case, you could gladly switch it for anything else. You know, I'm okay with that option, but you know, I don't mind it. I think it's okay. I think it's perfectly okay that you can buy a different armor set and then have a different shield to go on top of it. It's perfectly fine by me. Alright, so that's basically the Vanguard in a nutshell. I will show a PvP video with him right after this, and I will try to use every ability. I won't use every weapon, just because all the weapons are pretty self-explanatory. I will use these too, but I will show off the 3 abilities and such. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in a second. Hello everybody, welcome back. I've just started this match with the fudge, I completely forgot this name. But for this, okay, so for the arsenal we have right now, we just have, I actually have, oh geez. I actually have the, oh come on. I didn't even get a chance to say anything. Okay, Impaler Axe, Shield Bash, Rousing Cry. So, the Impaler Axe I actually prefer over the Katana just because of the damage over time. Whoopsie. So, I want to get a better... I'm going to show off all 3 abilities. But the Impaler Axe is pretty self-explanatory. Same effect as the regular axe, it just does a damage over time. Everything's the same on it. The amount per clip, the rate of fire. Did I stagger him? No, you don't. See, no, that's me using the shield to protect. Alright, let me heal here a bit. There we go. I'm not going to get the damage over time on her. Oh well. Alright, I need to stick with my team. But yeah, you can see I can block the Reaver's pounce attack when I have my shield up, which is quite nice, considering there are 2 of them. Nice try. Come here. Thank you. Where is he? Thank you. I'm nearly dead. Okay. But that's pretty much the shield bash. It just allows them to stagger. Now we're going to show off the shield charge, which is like a mini version of the Tyrant's charge thing. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Ah, dang it, I missed with all of them. There we go, shield bash.
Should have stayed at home.
And that could have gone better. But yeah, this is just kind of showing off the abilities about what he can do. I'm not really doing it too well in this match, because we are losing 8 to 15.
Breathe or drown, the waters take you.
Thank you. Oh jeez. Well, I mean, you saw the shield bash a little bit, so let's go to the, wait a minute, no. Judgment. There we go. So Judgment is a finishing move that does an AoE on the ground. Personally, if you wanted my personal preference, I like the, shield bash the most. Jeez. This is fair. Thank you. Dang it, they have a lot of crowd controlling. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a Judgment finishing move on them. No. I just got an AoE on them. But that's fine. I'll give the Judgment one more shot, and then I'll switch to the shield bash for the sake of the review. Or for the sake of me not sucking. Thank you for your time. Oh, jeez. No, move! What the heck am I... Oh, I pressed T on accident. Damn it. Damn you. Screw it. Alright. I'm just gonna be honest. Judgment is my least favorite ability out of all of these. Just because it's way too situational. And we're just up against a better vampire team. Stay away. Stagger. Thank you. Game don't lag on me now. Aww. Okay. I did use his F ability, which just gives like a little buff over time. I should also mention that will actually point out any deceivers that are around you. But anyways, that's all I have to share. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys found this useful. And yeah, end stream.